All right, good afternoon. You can drop your comments and locations just to know where you are watching us from. This is Stress Management Consultant, and today we'll be discussing a topic, a pertinent topic, workplace stress and employees' well-being. So you can just drop your comments in the comment section just to say hi, and you can just briefly introduce yourself. So we're expecting to see your comment. Hello, good afternoon from Africa watching this live stream. This is Stress Management Consultant, and today I will be discussing a topic. Uh, so without further ado, we just like to introduce to us what stress management is all about, or to get us acquainted with what stress management is all about. Stress management consultant is about making us get aware about what stress is, um, and how best we can manage stress. So today we'll be discussing the topic workplace stress and employees well-being. So we just like to see comments, just to see hi uh, from our viewers, from those of us that are okay. We like to hear from us. I can see some other people here. We just like to hear from us. Just say hello in the comment section, and let us get started. Just to know, you can see quite a number of people on LinkedIn, and would just like to hear from us as well. So we have like 2 seconds for or more for that. Would like to hear from us. So, all right. I s- I still see some people still sharing on LinkedIn as well, still reposting. So we hope that others will join us soon. I still see some people still reposting. Just say hello. All right. All right. So we just like to hear from us. I do that quickly. Just our feedback so that we can start on time. Okay. I can see like about 4 people like that on LinkedIn. And why some people are still sharing, okay, I can receive another comment like that, okay, from LinkedIn as well. Okay, okay. All right, all right. Thank you. So we'll be starting now, and today the speaker today for today's webinar who will put putting us through, teaching us what it is about stress management and employees stress in the workplace will be coming up shortly. So you know where you are joining this webinar from, kindly drop that as well in the comment section. Why we our speaker joined the section. So just drop that in the comment section as well. We'd like to know where you're joining this webinar from. All right. Okay. We're starting out now. Okay. So today we have um, our speaker today that will be taking this webinar is Dere Miriam Yetunde. She holds a degree in sociology and MSc in industrial sociology. So she'll be walking us through stress manage. She'll be walking us through today's topic that's workplace stress and employees' well-being. So this I am very sure and I'm optimistic that this is going to be interesting. The section is going to be interesting now. We'll all be learning all along as well. So just sit back and then listen and enjoy the session. So if you have any question afterward, you can just put them forward as well. So all right, you're welcome. Sunday Alexander is joining us as well from YouTube. You're welcome, Sunday. So how the speaker will be taking up the stage now. So
Good evening, everyone.
good evening.
Good
They,
evening, please. I hope I'm clear, I'm audible enough.
yes, you are.
All right. So I would like to welcome everyone here today to the webinar. Have been invited to speak on employee stress, workplace stress, and employee well-being. I would like to thank the organizers of this program. It's really a great work. So I want to sincerely say kudos to you. So shortly, I will be sharing my screen. All right. So we are all welcome once again. We'll be discussing workplace stress and employee well-being. So I have few table of contents here that would be our guide, the concept of workplace stress, the statistics, how to identify what workplace stress are, the effects, the causes, and managing workplace stress. So usually in sociology, they tell you that something is not a problem until there is a cause and effect relationship between them. So now, shortly, we will go about what. Please, I hope I'm live. Can you all see me? Hello, muted for a while, so I guess I would start all over again. I apologize for that. So I will be starting with what stress is. I said stress is a worldwide concern that virtually at every point of our lives we go through one kind of stress to another. As a baby, babies go through stress. You see them throwing tantrums, you see them crying for no reason, and that inability to even explain what you actually want, what you are feeling, what you are going through, it can be stressful. And while adults as well, they all go through stress at one point or the other. It can even be the young adults, the old adults, everyone at some point in their life pass through stress. So you said stress may be considered as any physical, chemical, or emotional factor that causes bodily or mental unrest, and that may be a factor in a causing disease. So stress is a way at which our body responds to any kind of demand or threat. So when you feel threatened, there is a way our nervous system would respond by releasing some flood of stress hormones, which include adrenaline, we have cortisol, and this calls for emergency situations. This was for emergency situations. So when you feel stressed, there's a way our hearts would start pounding faster, our muscles might become tightened, the blood pressure rises, or even our breath, the way we breathe, we quicken, and our senses become sharper. So stress is a psychological, physical state that results when resources of individual are not sufficient to cope with the demands and pressures of situations. So we are all presented with different situations in life. We are all presented with different pressures. There is that of the workplace pressure. We have the social aspects as well. And in fact, we have the religious aspects, we have the mental aspects as well. So we have a whole varied situations that warrant that at some point stress would set in. And when you do not have enough resources to meet up with the demands of the situation, you tend to be fidgeting, you tend to be stressed. And this is actually not so good when we allow it to overwhelm ourselves. So we have the positive aspect of stress, we have the negative aspect of stress. And that is why I would say that not all stress are bad. A mild degree of stress and tension can sometimes be beneficial. For example, a student that has a test or an exam to study for, the such students wouldn't mind the temporary time to, you know, be stressed at that time. They won't really mind because they would want a result at the end of it. So when they had been stressed, they would have to probably their time, reading time would be elongated, and the time at which they would rest or flex would be reduced. So stress can help you rise. It can help you rise to meet challenges. It can keep up your toes during presentations at work. It can sharpen your concentration when you're attempting to win a game or win any project. So stress, there will always be stress in workplace because as adults, as grown-ups, the work life takes the majority of our time, our life, our adulthood, the time at which we are stressed, at which we commit our time to work is actually very high. And this is actually the stage at which humans become very stressed. So we just have to be very careful when dealing with it because you always have deadlines to meet. You have to juggle between projects. You have to deal with conflicts, and these conflicts might actually be within you or between you and your colleagues. It can be between you and your employer. So all these are part of stress. And those that are currently not employed, they would even be stressed as well that, oh, I don't have a job that I'm currently doing. Even the thoughts and how can become so overwhelming. While those that are actually working probably 8 to 4 or 8 to 5 p.m., 9 to 6, 9 to 4 p.m., 9 to 5 p.m., they would also be always, in fact, I feel 90, if not 100%. I don't want to actually make it 100%, but I know the majority of work working class people, they always look forward to weekends, they look forward to public holidays and time to rest because they know that once work starts on a Monday, they know they have a lot of dealings, they have a lot of work to actually attend to. So there are actually good aspects of stress. And okay, another example of a good stress is when you are probably driving on your way and you just need to spun or slam on your brake to avoid accidents. There is a whole rush of emotions, a whole rush of hormones that the body produce, but for you just to actually stop or to avoid that accident, to avoid conflict at workplace, to avoid family issues, you just try to, as much as possible, to reduce or to work on stress. However, high level of stress is unhealthy. So we as humans, we as working class, or even those that are not working, because now when we talk about workplace, we have the employers, we have the employees. So they are all combined together to mean workplace. And when we even mean workplace, it's not only about you being in an office environment. In fact, those that are working at those that have shops, that have kiosks, it is also their workplace now. They have attendants that respond to them, they have customer service, they are also at their own workplace. Even a driver and a conductor, they are also at their own workplace. So however, we said high level of stress is actually unhealthy, so we need to know when to put a comma and when to put a full stop. So, looking at some statistics of workplace stress, a research was carried out in United Kingdom whereby it was seen, now it was decided that 6,000 people committed suicide every year, mostly due to work-related stress. So people, when they commit suicide, when they commit when they fall into depression, it's mostly because they are unable to take a hold or hold a grip of themselves. When stress becomes overwhelming, they tend to look for a safe place to fall back on. Also, in the United Kingdom, another researcher carried out a research and it says that 10.4 million workers, well, 10.4 million work days are lost due to leave by staff. So, at every point in time, we all know that there is a policy, there's leave policy, and we have the annual leave, we have sick leave, we have compassionate leave. So, there are those various types of leave that staffs or employees would try as much as possible to get some time off work. Even weekends, for example, most jobs in Nigeria, their weekends are usually free. They are also, whilst to some people, they don't even have weekends to themselves. You have those working on shift based morning, afternoon, and night. So also another researcher carried out a research in Nigeria and states that Nigeria is the most stressful country with 70% of Nigerians going through stressful activities on a daily basis. In fact, there was some time ago that I saw a tweet that said, as long as you are waking up every day in Nigeria, you are guaranteed to have a stressful day. And we all know that not only in Nigeria actually, but because we are in Nigeria, we can relate better. So we would feel that, oh, the rate at which I pass through stress on a daily basis is high on the increase. There are lots of things that would stress you even before you get to work. It might be the road users, it can be another driver, it can even be someone walking off as well. So there are a lot of times that you would see conductors that are very so abusive and sometimes you can't really blame these people. It's because they are also so stressed, and when you are stressed, you tend to just utter some things. You may not even mean them, but you just have to pour it out on someone else. So in United Arab Emirates, employees in UAE have a higher stress level compared to other countries. And my last point was about Nigeria. Researcher also feels over 70% Nigerians go through stressful activities. United Arab Emirates also came up with, so there is a higher level of stress compared to other countries. So it just depends on where you are, the environment you find yourself. That is when you can categorically define the kind of stress that you go through. Also, in the healthcare, the demanding nature of their industry makes workers more prone to stress due to work overload and long working hours. Because no one would love to hear it that, okay, I got to hospital and there was no staff to attend to me. So at every point in time, there have to be staffs that would attend to you. And this is also seen in organizations whereby they provide services. Maybe they have to work 24/7. So this kind of organization or industry as well, they will have to there will be some kind of pressures that will be on the staff. So now, what are the causes of workplace stress and how do we identify them? So, stress is caused by stressors. And when we say stressors are some factors. They are the factors that actually lead to stress. They may originate from work and they may originate from non-work domain. And this can be seen in people's behavior, especially when there is a change in behavior. So when your colleague actually have a change. You know this person that, oh, this is how this person is. This person is lively. She's a very jovial person, and at some point you'll be like, what is wrong with you? Something is up. Can you discuss? Can you share? Then you tend to see that, oh, something is definitely wrong, and it may be stress, and this stress may be from work. It may be work related, and it might actually be outer problem. But we should bear in mind that both work and non-work stress are actually intertwined because one affects the other. An employee may actually not feel stressed at work, but some other factors resulting outside work can actually make the person stressed. And when they come to work, they feel so down, they feel so stressed, and you tend to wonder, and it would affect the overall quality of work. So now, what are the work problems? We have work overload. In a situation whereby there are companies that have a low number of staff, work overload would tend to be on the high side, and you just tend to overuse your staffs rather than getting more hands to help you. And when there is work overload like that, it actually has an effect on the employee or the employees, because they have to just be on the run every time. So there is need for people to, or for the employers as well, to be able to, care for the employees, that okay, at what point is work becoming too overbearing. So we also have employer and employee relationship. So here we have many organizations that the employer and employee relationship is actually poor, and this can actually cause stress, because there are a lot of people that they are actually good, they know what they are doing, but because they have some bosses, it can be the direct boss, it can be the supervisor or the line manager, depending on the organizational structure, they may have a poor relationship. And when there's a poor relationship like that, such an employee would find it difficult to even approach the superior about whatever problem that they are facing. So when there is a sore relationship between the employer and employee, it can lead to a whole lot of psychological stress, and this also can affect productivity. Then we have the lack of job autonomy, when you don't even have power, you don't even have a say on what it is that you are doing. Many times, or in many cases, we all like to be able to define that, okay, this is what I am doing, this is what I am good at. And what you are good at, you would want to at least show it out, to prove it to people that, okay, I am in charge, I am doing this thing, and I assure you of the best results. But when there is no autonomy on that specific job that you have been assigned, so it might cause stress. It can be directly, it can be indirectly. Then we also have lack of organizational support. Here we there's a whole need for support at every point in our lives. The lack of organizational support now, it's not only related to the employers, but other staffs, other colleagues that you have to work with. We have companies that they work in team. We have companies that their job is just individual related. Do your job. Each person has their own specific job description. But notwithstanding, there is a way, in any workplace, the no department or no individual would even stand alone. The account department, yes, they are one department on their own, but they still need to relate with other colleagues, other staffs at the company to work hand in hand together. So when there is lack of organizational support, it can as well cause stress, because you feel, okay, I'm not even needed in this organization, I'm not even accepted. And when there is this feeling of not being accepted in any organization, it actually causes a whole lot of problem. And that is why, let's say, for example, those that actually work as attendant for someone in that owns a shop or that owns a supermarket. When there is that, no when there is no cordiality between them, it's actually creates this kind of feeling that you just won't put your best to the work that you are doing. And when you are being stressed like that, it would affect all other aspects of your life, because you feel, okay, this is where I am getting my source of income, and if I'm not getting this assurance in that work, it's actually a whole lot. So we have social problems as well, whereby we have lack of family support, lack of social support, and poor quality of work. So usually, the family is the first institution that everyone is born into. So when there is a problem at home, within the family, it can be between spouses, it can be between parents and children, it can be between siblings. When there is issues in family, this kind of issue can actually cause an employee not to be so productive at work, because your mind would even be overwhelming already, and you just won't feel that vibe, that support that you need to actually be strong and to overcome a whole lot of things. When it's not there, then you are just on your own and you feel so down. The lack of social support as well. We have social connectors around us, we have friends, we have peers, we have um also colleagues, because we, in many cases, since we spend most of our time and days at work, we tend to have colleagues, we tend to have friends, we tend to have colleagues who would now turn friends. So all these people are part of our social support, and when that one is also lacking, when there is a problem with that, believe you me, it would directly or indirectly affect stress. It will directly or indirectly affect you, thereby causing stress for you. Then when there is poor quality of work, it is also a major problem for workplace stress, because when you are not so good at something, there is a way you kind of feel down, you feel, oh, probably I'm not good enough, or I don't even possess this particular skill, and I have to I have to bring out results, because that is what most employers are after. It is the results that they really want. So when there's poor quality of work, it can actually lead to workplace stress as well. Stress is too much. Like I said earlier, I said when we are talking about stress, it is not something that can be totally eradicated, because it has its positive side, it has its negative side. But we need to know when to put a comma, we need to know when to put a full stop. So we are all different, and some people may be able to roll out with life punches, while others tend to crumble in the face of small obstacles or frustration. So, for example, Adiola may be terrified at getting in front of people to perform or to speak, whereas you'd see his best friend, Mike, you'd see Mike is a life of a spotlight. Mike would want to be seen, would want to be noticed, wouldn't see anything bad in facing people and actually exploring. But to Diola, he would feel, oh, this is actually stress for me, but I still have to do it. We have many companies that they have to present, they have presentations to present to probably partners, to CEOs, the head of department, and the like. So in a situation whereby someone finds themselves as, oh, I am this timid person, I can't really do this, it is going to cause stress for such kind of person. Another example is that, let's say Anita enjoys helping parents and siblings. Our sister may actually find that so overbearing. But everyone would feel, oh, they are your parents. You need to take care of them. You need to care for them. So you actually need to define what stress is to you. You need to know what is stressful for you. And when you know that, you know, okay, this is actually important. My mental health is actually very important to me. And you know when to put a comma, when to put full stop. So we have some factors that influences stress tolerance. We have emotional awareness. So many of us are used to being overloaded with stress that we don't even notice that anymore. We don't even notice that, oh, this is actually stressful. We've allowed stress to be so overwhelming, and to encompass all of our lives. So when we feel stressed, we feel, oh, it is normal. So we won't even be aware that, oh, I am stressed. You won't even feel it in your feeling, in your physical and emotional aspects, or in your emotional life. So you need to be emotionally aware to recognize when you are being stressed, and you should be able to calm and soothe yourself. We also have diet. So the kind of food we eat actually tells a lot as well. The food you eat can improve or can worsen your mood, and it can affect your ability to cope with life stressors. So you need to eat a full balanced diet. You need to eat food that are convenient. We should try as much as possible to reduce processed food with a lot of preservatives, refined carbohydrates, sugary snacks. There are some people that when they take sugary things, it's actually set them up. There's some kind of hormones that would just, be released in their body, and it can even worsen symptoms of stress. So we have to be very particular about the kind of diet that we eat. We have to ensure that there are fruits, there are vegetables, high quality proteins, and healthy fats that we can take. Then there is this omega 3 fatty acid. It also helps with coping with life's up and down. So we have sense of control as well. It's easier to take stress in your stride if you have the confidence to do so. So the ability to influence events and to persevere through challenges, you need to be able to have that control on yourself. That okay, this is why I am having this particular hardship. This is why I'm having persistent, for example, financial issues or financial worries. So when we have this kind of issues, it poses a major stressors for so many of us, and that's why we see a lot of people that probably because of one reason or the other they couldn't handle their finances, and they have to take loans. Then the loaners will start embarrassing you, start looking for you up and down. Even you yourself would start running helter skelter to get funds to repay back. So we need to have that sense of control on all areas of our lives. So if you feel like things are out of control, you are likely to have less tolerance for stress. So you need to be in control of yourself. Then we have attitude and outlook. Hopefully, many people are more stress hardy and they tend to embrace challenges. They have a strong sense of humor and they accept change as an inevitable part of life. So it is your attitude and your outlook, the way you portray yourself, the way you show yourself, it actually tells a lot in how we can manage our tolerance. There are a whole lot of people that when you see them, you see that, oh, this person can't really manage, because even from the dressing, you can easily tell that something is actually going on with this person. So when you don't know how to explain what is going on in your mind, just know that okay, I'm already getting to that point of being stressed and I need to actually be on the lookout. Then we also have knowledge and preparation. The more you know about stressful situation, the more you can define what stress is to you, including how long it takes to last and what it's expected. Is it easier to cope with or not? For example, if you go into surgery with a realistic picture of what to expect, a painful recovery will be less stressful than if you were expecting to bounce back immediately. So you have to have the knowledge of what you are going for. Let's say, for example, you have a project at work that you need to work on, you need to work with. You should be able to have at least an idea of what it is about. Don't just jump into it all because okay, I want to impress my employer, and at the end of the day you are unable to get a good result. It's automatically create this stress for you, and you need to be able to have an idea of what it is that you are working with. Then you need to prepare towards it. And when you prepare fully well, they said if you are not prepared, then what are you? Because you won't really get what's or the good results that you are expecting. So we have several effects of stress. We have the psychological effect, we have the physical effect, and behavioral effect. So the psychological effect of workplace stress can be job dissatisfaction. When you start having this job dissatisfaction, that okay, this work that I am actually doing, I'm not finding that satisfaction in it. It can lead to some psychological effects that you just feel down, you feel this low morale, and you are not just that feeling of inadequacy that probably I'm not good enough. And when you are feeling dissatisfied, when you are feeling inadequate, it leads to some other things. It leads to you having low self-esteem, and it leads to you not having that confidence to be able to stand up or to be able to defend yourself. You have lots of indecisiveness and difficulty in concentrating when there is a whole lot of work at your desk that you need to resolve. You just when you are stressed, your thinking faculty, it's kind of jumbled up and you don't even know which one should I go for, which one should I start with. So there will be difficulty in concentrating. You just tend to see that, oh, I'm actually reading this over and over again, and I'm actually not digesting. I don't really understand what it is trying to say. So we have to, these are some of the effects that workplace stress has on our lives. We have some people that, they may even run into some mental illness just because they allow stress to be so overwhelming. So whenever you, excuse me, whenever you are faced with any stress, you need to work on yourself. You need to take that time to calm down. So we have the physical effect of stress. That is when you are being tired and you just find it so hard to be hardworking or to carry out some particular actions at some point. So, in fact, it happens at times that you feel, okay, I've slept overnight, I've slept for, let's say, 6, 7 hours. Normally, when you wake up, you're supposed to feel refreshed, but because of stress, you wake up again and you wake up to headache, you wake up to aching muscles because your mind is actually not at rest. You're not giving yourself that break. So you may even start having gastrointestinal conditions. You may have cardiovascular diseases, allergies, and all. And for females, it can even turn up to you having pimples and acne on your face just because you are stressed. And when you are stressed, you won't even think right. You won't even take care of yourself. And when all this happens, it causes a whole lot. Then we see people that can even faint when they are, because they are carried away already. So it's as if their mind, it's not there, it's not in what it is that they are doing. So you just need to be very careful of the kind of stress that you allow yourself to dip into. So we have behavioral effects of stress, we have apathy, we have difficulty in sleeping. And this is actually true because many times when humans have a lot that they are thinking, they find it so hard to sleep. And that is when you see situations whereby they have to like use some drugs to make them sleep. And if this is persistent, it will lead to excessive use or abuse of drugs, because you would be so inclined to using these drugs, and if you don't have it, you would feel you are not going to sleep. If you don't use that particular drug, you feel, oh, this headache or this aching muscles would not go, so I just have to use it. So it can even lead to use of cigarettes, abuse of cigarettes and alcohols. We've seen cases whereby I know of someone that the person was depressed at some point. Then the person feel okay. Probably she had it somewhere that you have to you can use, or because someone else has used drugs before. All this weed. Then she feels okay. Whenever I use weed, I'm always calm, and at that point in time, I won't really think of anything. So, and all these actually have side effects on our own health, not only mentally, but even our human, the whole body system. So also the stress can lead to changing eating habits. So when you're stressed, you won't even remember that, oh, I've not taken breakfast or I've not taken lunch or dinner. So you need to at least give yourself that break. You need to be able to define that, okay, this is breakfast, this is the best time to eat, this is the best time to munch on something else. And like they say, that breakfast is the most important meal in a day. Also, when you are stressed, you tend to start avoiding families and friends. You just want to be on your own, you want to be a loner, and this is actually going to cause impaired relationship with people. You get angry, you get anxious, you get so hypersensitive. Then after all that, you feel drained, you feel listless, and you feel, oh, I'm actually useless. It can also lead to sexual problems, and if this is not well managed, you see that at the end of the day, if your spouse should come to you like, okay, babe, let's go to the other room, you may feel, oh, I am not in the mood. So even the sexual problem can affect your family. The sexual problem can affect your relationship when you are unable to actually perform up to expectation. So all these are some of the effects of workplace stress. Now, how do we manage workplace stress? Managing stress is important since we know that stress cannot be totally eradicated. So we need to exercise. Exercise is actually very good because it aids relaxation and it improves sleep. Let's say you are someone that is working 8 to 5, and you just have to be at your desk throughout. It is actually bad for you to sit down from that 8 to 5 p.m. Like, you need to stand up, you need to walk around, you need to relax your brain, your mind. You need to allow it to settle, and that way you can be more productive, and the quality of work that you would even present at the end of the day would be so good. Then we have time management. You need to learn how to prioritize and identify time wasting tasks. If you have a whole lot of tasks, a whole lot of schedules that you've noted down, nothing stops you from um analyzing, or let me say, you listing it in order of importance. When you are able to list out what you are doing in order of importance, then it would help you to prioritize and know, okay, let me start with this. So you won't even start with the ones that would be so time wasting. We have people that engage in, they start with this bottom to top approach, and we have those that their own is top to bottom approach. And what do I mean by this? Let's say, for example, as an employee, you have a whole lot of tasks. There are easy tasks, there are the very difficult ones. So some will tell you, okay, I would feel better when I start with the easy one, then I progress. That is you starting from bottom to top. But if it is from top to bottom, they'll tell you, those kind of people will tell you, okay, let me start with the difficult one, then I would be able to manage myself to complete the easy ones later. So you need to be able to prioritize in order of importance. You need to even set realistic deadlines, because many times you find out that employees, just because they want to impress or because they want to be fast and be done with whatever assignment or task that they are given, they set unrealistic deadlines. And when that deadline cannot be met, that is when you now see that they start running around looking for help and the likes. And if you had have this agreement with your supervisors, with your employers, that okay, this will just be honest. Like, honesty would really save you a lot. If you can't do something, say that, okay, I'm sorry, I can't do this, or I'm sorry, I would get more knowledge or seek more knowledge, and when I'm able to, then I would come back and I would take this project. You can set a deadline that, okay, instead of this thing normally would take me a week, would take me 2 weeks. Just set realistic deadlines. Not that your oga said, okay, he wants it to be ready in 2 days, and you just agree to it, and you yourself knows that this task will take at least a week. So you need to set realistic deadlines to avoid unnecessary stress. Then we have organizational skills. You have to prevent misplaced objects. You need to be able to organize your workspace. And now, not only the workspace is important, even your personal space, you need to be able to organize and put things in order. When you do this, you would have less stress. There are times that you might even be looking for something, but because your desk is so messed up, at the end of the day, you might not get it, or you might have stressed yourself or developed headache while trying to look for a particular document. So even if it is your system, if you need to open folders, and just make sure that everything is organized. That way you can easily switch up and provide whatever it is that anyone needs. Or even if you are not around, and if everything is in place, even if they put a call through to you, probably you are on leave or you are currently not at work, you can easily tell them, okay, go to so place, you would find it there. This would actually prevent you from having stress. Then you need support systems. You need to have friends and families around you. They say no man lives in isolation. You need to be able to relate well with friends, relate well with families, because these are the people that actually connects us together. You feel there's someone you can talk to, there is um someone you can share your worries with, someone that can advise you. So when you have support systems around you, you would even feel, you feel cool. And if you are stressed, then they will be stress depressors, like they would reduce that amount of stress piling up on you. They will give you that assurance, they will calm you down. So we also have habits. You have to be optimistic about events, you have to eat well, and you have to sleep well. So you have to develop good habits that would help you perform optimally at work. We also have workplace distressors. You need to take a break, you need to take on vacations, and you need to delegate tasks, because no one is the knower of all things. So you need to be able to share ideas, you need to be able to delegate that, okay, Mr. Hey, you can do this, Mr. B, you can do this. So you need to at least have that thing that, okay, I can't do this all on my own. You need to take breaks. And I think in all working environments, working institutions, there are times that you can easily take breaks. Yes, because normally if you are working 8 to 5, your employer should be nice enough. In fact, it is even in the workplace policy that it depends on it's in all workplace that there is some amount of time that should be given as break. Now it now depends on the kind of environment that you find yourself, or the kind of workplace. That's when you can know that, okay, my workplace, we have 10 minutes breaks, we have 15-minute breaks, we have 5-minute breaks. So make use of these breaks very well. You can also make use of your leave, you can go on vacation, you can relax outside work, and just feel what is going on in the society, catch up with friends, catch up with families. Then lastly, we have aromatherapy. Aromatherapy also, it's actually good when you have nice scents around you. It has a great way of helping you to relax at work. So studies have shown that lavender oil is very good. We have lots of essential oils, in which lavender is one of it. It is actually good for you being relaxed at work. When you take in the nice scent, there's a whole way it connects to her brain, and you just feel calm, you feel so down. So before I round up, I would like to also include that when we are talking about workplace stress, I've been talking about employees, but even the employers as well, they also go through stress, because I know there might be some of us here who are entrepreneurs, we have some of us here who are the owners, the CEO of their own business. So now, to all employers and employees, everyone is, we are like two sides of a coin. So to every employers, to every supervisors, we need to try to get close to our staff. We need to understand that we have individual differences, and the way we deal with each one is different. So we need to try our best to meet their needs, though we know that human needs are insatiable, but to a very reasonable length, we need to be able to at least satisfy them, and be there for them. Then for, excuse me, some will tell you that some employers will tell you, if you are not satisfied with work, you can leave. If you are not satisfied with my terms and conditions, you can leave. Yes, fine, the person can actually leave, but the employer also needs to think about the loss that is going to cost the company, because recruitment alone has its own budget. But when you are able to retain staff, and your staffs are happy, and they feel that, okay, they are being respected, they are being aligned with the company, it reduces the stress that they go through. And even you yourself, the employers have their own stress, whereby they have to think about how to be relevant in the society. They have to think about paying up staffs, and they have a whole lot of things. So even the employees as well have their own role that is needed to be played. So in all of this, it is just to tell us that when we are being stressed, there would be low productivity. And when there is low productivity, there won't be that personal development, there won't be that work development. So, in conclusion, listening about all of this is not enough to reduce stress. To reduce workplace stress, you must take action. So, once again, this is my little input to this topic. I hope I've done little justice to it. And once again, I appreciate Mr. Alade Adiola for asking me to present this today. And I want to appreciate all her viewers as well, all our attendants for taking out of their time to, participate in this program. Thank you so much. All right, so we have some questions here that I'll be taking. There is one on what advice would you give to calm down a colleague who is stressed out about a deadline, being insecure about your chance for advancement? Okay, so is it a two in one question or there are two separate questions? Well, okay, let me start with the first one, which says that what advice would you give to calm down a colleague who is stressed about deadline? So, during my presentation, I was able to tell us that we need to set realistic deadlines for ourselves whenever we are at in our daily dealings in our workplace. First of all, it is needed that you have to list out all you need to do. And when you list out all you need, or all that is needed to be done, then you would now know how to prioritize in order of importance. So I want to believe that when you have a whole lot of things, they may not be, the deadline may not be equal. It might not be the same time that all would be, they will not have a whole deadline at the same time. So you just need to, prioritize in order of importance. Those that their deadlines are close, you need to work towards those ones. Then when you now have a whole lot of deadlines and you need to meet up, I think that is where you need to delegate some tasks. You need to look for helping and to help you out in carrying out these deadlines, because when you don't meet deadlines, actually it can cause a whole lot of issue. It can even cause you losing out in your job. So you have to set realistic deadlines, and when you can't meet up, in fact, that is why it is good to have a good personal relationship with your with your supervisors or your employers or your superiors. So when tasks are being designated, when you know that okay, you can't meet this deadline, please reach out early enough. Because let's say you have a deadline that you are supposed to submit a project on a Wednesday, and the project is actually needed that Wednesday. As at Monday, you already see that okay, I can't complete this. You need to reach out to your school superior that okay, please can you help me out with this? I can't meet up with that deadline. What can be done? Can the person assist in helping you out? And if the person can't assist in helping you out, then is it a project that can be suspended or that can be extended? Sorry. If it is a project that can be extended, then the person should be nice enough to actually extend that time for you. But in a situation whereby you are just keeping everything to yourself, you are not disclosing your problem, then there is no way that can be resolved. So whenever it is that you have a deadline that you have to meet, then you should reach out and seek people that would help you. And you should also reach out, let your supervisor know that okay, you can't meet up with this. And there's a way that you would even present yourself to him, and the person would be understanding enough. But in a situation whereby we have toxic work environment and you see that okay, you can't meet deadlines, or you are always not meeting deadlines, you are always on the run, you are always stressed out, then it might be a toxic environment for you, that you may feel okay, let me, while at it, let me start looking for other opportunities, because that is the only way. Your mental health really matters. Now, we also have being insecure about your chances for advancement. Actually, in all spheres of life, it is necessary, it is important that we all advance. There are a lot of us that, where we are today, but because we need to meet some ends meet, then you just tend to take on the job that is available. So because you now take on that job, that doesn't, or that shouldn't stop you from advancing yourself career wise, personal development. We all need that advancement in our lives. So when to need an advancement, I think this also boils down to you meeting your head of human resources. You need to talk to them. That is why I said employer employee relationship, superior and the junior relationship has to be good. It has to be even strong enough, because these people should be someone you can reach out to, that you can talk to and tell your problems. So in advancement, normally in any organization, there is that room for personal, or let me say, training and development. So when you feel this is actually affecting you, or you're having that fears, I think you need to actually discuss with your HR. There should be stipulated policy that states that talks about your personal development, and even the development that would help you succeed while in that organization. So HRs also, they need to give out trainings to train their staff. And when you need to develop yourself, which is outside your workplace, now for example, you plan to actually be an engineer, but currently you are working as an admin, or an assistant somewhere, you would still be tracing be sorry, you'd still be running after that word, that part, that okay, I want to become an engineer. So that's because you are currently an admin, or an administrative assistant, or an admin officer, that shouldn't stop you from still running on that dream. So that is why you just need to be able to, define what you really want. When you're able to define, then you now strategize that okay, how do I do it? I'm working on a daily basis, I'm working 8 to 5. Then how do you develop? How do you advance to meet up with your own career, that goal that you're trying to reach? So all you just need to do is that discuss with them, okay, what are the policies on ground for career development, for advancement? Then you can even share. There is nothing bad in you telling your HR that okay, this is actually what I'm planning to work on. And I believe HRs normally, they are trained to actually accommodate staffs, to actually give advice and all. So when you go to them that okay, this is what you plan to do, you should just try to make sure that it is not it is not even affecting your primary role in your organization. Because it is when it is affecting your primary role, that is when the HR or the employer would not even give listening ears, because they'll tell you, okay, why are you on this job when you know that you are actually taking on you're actually not interested in what you are doing now? Then why are you taking it? You can leave, and you can leave that job, and someone else who is interested will take it. So you need to be able to define what you really want. And when you define it, then you have to set time that you would be free to work on it. Because if you are at one point and you are doing perfectly fine, but you are still reaching for another goal, if you don't create that time for that other goal that you're trying to reach, then there won't be balance. And it can even lead to stress as well, because you would feel you are not getting that motivation. Job dissatisfaction can set in as well. So you need to talk to your HR on ways at which they can help you to actualize that dream. I hope I've been able to do justice to that question. Hello.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time, and that would be all for now. And we look forward to seeing uh, you in the next season, or should I say, the next section that will be coming up as well. Thank you for all for to those who joined us, who joined the section today, and to our presenter and our speaker, the Miriam here today, head of human resource manager systems technologies, a fintech company. So thank you so much, and that will be all for now. Thank you. All right, all right. Thank you.